Times are changing, so your offer calculations need to change as well. This is how you adjust. Let's talk wholesale. All right, so it's October 2022. And we're right in the middle of a big transition, right? Big adjustment. There was no inventory at the beginning of the year. Now there's a lot more inventory. There are properties were flying off the shelves at the beginning of the year, first quarter, second quarter of 2022. Now they're not moving. Days on market are extending. Agents and real estate professionals all over the place are losing their minds just because we're shifting, right? We're in the middle of the shift. So that means that we need to shift along with everything else. If you're using the traditional wholesale offers and the thresholds and the 70% rules and all that stuff, you're not gonna have a lot of success just because of how the current temperature of the market is, okay? And if you haven't adjusted your offer calculations yet, you need to do it right away, okay? Again, this is a transition. It may be a temporary thing. It may last 3 months, 6 months. I'm not, nobody's sure. Nobody's sure. So it's gonna depend on supply and demand. There's a lot of factors that play into it. But right now, what's happening is that prices are dropping, okay? So we see an average 2.5 drop depreciation on property values throughout the country. Again, it's October 2022, and as long as that trend keeps going, we need to get more aggressive on those offers, okay? We need to get more aggressive, and it all begins with the offer calculation. You got to make sure that you have the right math when you're talking to a seller and you're trying to negotiate a property. So those conversations are going to get a lot more intimidating just because you have to dive deeper. Otherwise, the properties are not going to sell. Buyers are not buying unless they know they have a deal in their hands, okay? And how do we do that? We have to get more aggressive as wholesalers. It's just the nature of the beast. If prices are dropping across the shelf on the traditional side, okay, we need to change our approach. We need to change our offer calculations to drop those prices as well on the wholesale side, so there's still meat on the bones for cash buyers, okay? They need to know they have deals in place. That's our job, all right? So how are we adjusting? Now, before I break it all down, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and share, all right? If you're wholesaling, if you like the content that I'm putting out there for you on a regular basis, please do me a favor, help me spread the word, all right? Whenever you guys share, whenever you guys comment, and becomes a two-way conversation, the algorithm picks it up better, and then a lot more people listen to the knowledge and to the information that I have for you guys. So help me out with that. If you want to find out about how to become one of my students and join the mentorship program of the Wholesaling Business Blueprint, go to reiwholesaling.com. Now, let me show you exactly what it is that I'm doing to adjust our offer calculations, right? So again, it's October 2022. This is gonna be, if you're watching this video in 2024, those numbers may not apply, but right now it's definitely something that you wanna implement right away, okay? So, let me give you a little rundown on the math. Hopefully you can see that, that very complex it's not that complicated, really. It's really simple math. Just a matter of understanding. One of the biggest things that we're doing right now is we're adjusting the ARV. So ARV is after repair value, okay? This is how much is a property worth after it has been repaired, all dressed up nice, painted, rehabbed, and put up on the market. How much is the top dollar that you could get for a property? That's what the after repair value is gonna be, right? So market value. Now, one thing that we're doing right out of the gate, and I'm doing it up here, I'm not, messing with the math on this, but right out of the gate, we're just shaving off 10%. 10% of the after repair value of that property. Why? Because right now, and actually over the last 3 months or so, the national trend has been a depreciation of 2.5%. All right, that means that property values are dropping about 2.5% every single month. Okay, so it's been constant, and we have to account, usually cash buyers, they will hold the property while they're doing the rehab and the fix and flip for an average time of 3 to 4 months. So you want to make sure that if the trend continues where they're dropping 2.5% a month, you want to give them some runway, right? You want to make sure there's enough of discount in there so they see it and they know they have runway in there in case they have to hold the property for that long. And they, again, there's still meat on the bones at the end of it. So this is an absolute must, all right, if you want to secure the profits for your cash buyers. If you don't secure profits for your cash buyers, you're not gonna sell the deal. There's not gonna be an assignment fee because the property is just not gonna move, all right? So the first thing, again, that we do to recap on this is we take 10% off of that ARV, and I'll break it down right now with the numbers, right? Reason for that 2.5% depreciation a month on average. This is national, okay? So once we do that, again, we go into the regular math. The regular math doesn't really change that much. You can play with the percentages depending on a couple of different things, and I'll break it down. But basically what you have is you have your adjusted ARV times 70%, okay? Again, we have to get aggressive on the numbers. I remember, even 5 months, 6 months ago, we were able to, instead of using that 70%, we're using like 80%, 82%. Okay, so we're locking properties relatively high and they were still moving, but that's not the case anymore. Why? Because inventory spiked and then sales stalled, right? So buyers are freaking out. They want to make sure, again, they have a good solid deal. So we have to get more aggressive on our end. It's going to be challenging right now for wholesalers. Anybody who's wholesaling without a plan in place or without a strategy is really going to struggle, right? So you have to get more proficient at the entire process of wholesaling. Again, if you want to find out more about the coaching program, reiwholesaling.com. Now, ARV times 70%, okay, and this is the adjusted ARV. So after you took away the 10%. Times 70, okay, we multiply it times 70, it's kind of like the rule of thumb again, minus estimated rehab. So if it's going to take, $20,000, $30,000 to remodel the property, minus your wholesale fee, okay? What that's going to give you, it's going to give you a maximum allowable offer, okay? You know that you're going to hit that number as an offer, and if you go above that number, you're going to be losing profits on your assignment fee, or you're going to be losing potential profits for the real estate investor who's going to buy it for you, and the deal becomes less and less and less and less appealing, okay? Again, you want to make sure that you have undeniable deals at hand when you're selling them to cash buyers. That's what they're looking for right now, okay? Again, a few months back, it used to be okay to have less margin because there was no inventory, but now there's a bunch of inventory. Inventory is getting there, it's taking longer to sell, so we have to make it more enticing for them. What does this whole thing look like with numbers on them? Glad you asked. Let me give you an example. Quick example using some basic numbers, right? So let's say that you have a property that you're comping out. You're running the comps on this thing, and then it turns out that it's about $300,000, all right? ARV after repair value is about $300,000 after it's all nice and decked out and put up for sale in the market. $300K. Again, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna shave off 10%. We're gonna take away 10% right out of the gate, right? Because we're gonna account for those months of depreciation that could happen, and we wanna make sure that we have enough cushion in there, just in the event of, right? So again, it's not comfortable, but we have to get more aggressive on the wholesale offers. So you need to get better at those conversations. You need to get better at dropping those low anchor numbers and picking up logical conversations from there. So the adjusted ARV times 70%, okay? That means that we have 270,000 because that's the adjustment that we made, shaving off 10%, times 70% because we're getting aggressive on those numbers again, gives us 189, all right? So that's the first number that we're looking at. The first number is gonna be 189. Now, let's say that the estimated rehab, so how much is it gonna cost to remodel the property, fix it up, leave it all nice and put it back in the market? Let's say that's gonna cost $30,000, all right? So we're gonna shave that off from the offer amount too, and give yourself room to make at least a $15,000 wholesale fee on this, okay? So you add your fee on there, $15,000. So what do we end up with? We have that 189 number minus $30,000 for the rehab minus your $15,000 wholesale fee. Okay, you're gonna end up with a maximum allowable offer of $144,000. Right? This is how aggressive we have to get right now on properties. And the deals are out there. Don't think that because the property is worth $300,000 in the market, somebody's not going to go for that number. There's always going to be comps. Now, remember, we're comping based on high ranges and low ranges. So there's going to be comps on properties like this. You're going to find comparable properties anywhere from like the 260 range to the 320 range and that sort of thing. So looking at a median number is really important, right? But yeah, you can definitely justify a number like this if you go through the right process, through the right conversation, and lay it out during your offer presentation, okay? We have full scripts and the entire process on how to do that as well. Now, again, you're gonna end up with a number of 144. A couple of things that you need to keep in mind is this number right here, that 70%, can change a little bit. You can play with that number a little bit. Depending on the location of the property, for example, if it's on a corner lot that's in a main street, it's going to impact the value, right? So you may have to go even lower to like 65% on this number. Or if it's a highly coveted area, it's a very nice area where inventory is hot, properties are moving super fast, the price point is perfect, the property is not that beat up, it's going to be an easier sell. You can increase the 70 to like a 75 if you wanted to, okay? So again, but those things are subjective to the property. So it depends on the actual property, what you're gonna be doing with this percentage right here. Regardless of how you see it though, you wanna keep this structure in place. You wanna make sure that you're giving yourself a 10% cushion right out of the gate, so you make sure that you're not offering too much. Now, a couple of other expenses get rolled into these numbers, right? For example, part of these 70% is going to include what the cash buyer is going to end up paying for like transaction fees and that sort of thing. So we're building all that stuff into this aggressive percentage right here. We're not just doing the separate math. We're kind of accounting for a 8%, 6 to 8% expenses on the cash buyer side for them to pay closing costs and that sort of thing. So that's getting rolled into it. At the end of the day, they're going to end up with an average of anywhere from 10 to 12% return once they flip the property, right? That's what we're kind of aiming for. Might be more, but it can't be less than 10% because your property is not going to move. They are accounting for that kind of math. They are accounting for their closing costs. They're accounting for holding costs. They're accounting for hard money expenses and that sort of thing. So that's why we have to go this aggressive on deals, especially right now. Okay, so this 10% is going to give you that edge that you need to create that buffer, to create that cushion. Okay, again, yes, it's an aggressive number, but it's what you have to do. Otherwise, your deals are gonna sit and they're not gonna sell. The days of winging it in your wholesale deals are over. All right, let me make that super clear. They are over. You have to get methodical about this. You have to think like a professional and fine-tune your skill set, right? Now it's more important than ever. A lot of people are not gonna make it if you don't have an approach, if you don't have a plan to keep the leads rolling in, right? To have educated conversations with sellers and know how to go about that conversation, justifying it and making it logical, you're gonna have a real hard time. So this is one of the first things that you need to do if you haven't done so yet, as far as adjusting your offer threshold. Let me know your thoughts below. This is a two-way conversation, and let's keep it rolling. All right, download your free PDF on the Wholesaling Business Blueprint. Go to reiwholesaling.com. You have a free PDF where you can get the 6 stages of your wholesaling business. It breaks it all down. It gives you a big explanation of what your business should look like and how to actually navigate through those stages as well. So reiwholesaling.com. Stay focused. You got this.